So tell me, is you ready, baby? Tell me, is you ready, baby?
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Be Like D channel. It's your girl D coming back with Divorced Sistas episodes 4 through 6. Yeah, I know I had technical difficulties last week, so I'll let me go ahead and catch up before the new episode come out. But y'all, this show is so good and messy, and I love it, okay? So let's go ahead and get it to it. Episode 4, we opened up where we left off, where Naomi was showing up to the banquet or the charity auction thing. So she drunk as hell, coming up to the table like, y'all over here sitting with her? And, a whole awkward thing. I was surprised she didn't act up more, though. I thought she was going to get real loud and start yelling and stuff, but they actually got her to sit down. She was just making little comments at the table and stuff. Looking at Javon and Tiffany, talking about, oh, who is this? They on a date? Here go Geneva. No, I was like, girl, scoot back. Why is you all in their business? You don't need to answer for her. But anyway, Javon is noticing that she drunk, and obviously it's just tension at the table. So he ended up trying to distract her and start talking about how he take photos and he can do photos for all of them. I was just like, okay, shut up. Okay, why is you inserting yourself right now? But I guess he want to come off as the good guy that's trying to help the friends solve their problems. Boy, get out of here. Anyway, so then it was also funny too when Naomi was laughing. Well, she didn't laugh, but she was making comments about her ex-husband and his new wife, because they was over there whispering, talking, maybe we should get that, maybe we should get this. And she's like, look at him over there whispering. My pity ass laughed at it. I was like, you right, girl, because they over there. But anyway, and then a painting comes up. So apparently it's a painting that her brother painted that they had just repossessed from her the night before when she got all that stuff repossessed back to the ex-husband. So then the ex-husband get on stage and want to be talking all this mad shit about this lady brother. Apparently he died. He was an artist. Of course, after you die, the artwork becomes more valuable. But he was talking mad stuff, talking about he wasn't ish in life and all this and that. And she kept it cool. I was like, ain't nobody getting up objecting. Ain't nobody finna do nothing. They just let him go on with this long ass speech of disrespect. Okay, I was like, somebody do something, okay? And then even though Rashida kind of was like, okay, Pastor Jeff, what you gonna do? Jeff, get him. And he's like, oh, wait, let's see how it's gonna play out. He just want the money. That's all he worried about getting money from this nigga. So then he started talking about bidding on the painting. I think the lady tried to do like $5,000, but then he was like, nah, let's start this at $5. And then somebody said 5, and then somebody said 10. He's like, no, let's keep it low. So then Tiffany go ahead and say, I think like 5,000 or 10,000, something like that. And then of course that's not what he wants to happen. So he's being a bitch and won't say, no, how about, you know what, I'll buy it $5 million. And then he's like, actually, matter of fact, how about, I think he said 227 million or something like that. Whatever exact amount that he had to pay Naomi in the divorce, that's what he told her she would have to pay for it to get the painting. And it was all just bullshit, okay? I was just like, oh, this motherfucker. Can somebody get him? Can we get to him? Okay, can we get to him? Because, baby, he was up there torturing her, talking mad shit at a damn church banquet. And ain't nobody say nothing? A church banquet? Pastor just sitting there looking like, you supposed to get up and be say, okay, we ain't doing no disrespect. I know this is a fundraiser. Do something. Nobody said nothing. Okay, but then she at the table all drunk, like, you know what, I need to go. I need to go. They also tried to bring her coffee to sober her up, which, they don't work, but it's TV. So they trying to sober her up with the coffee. She say it's not hot enough. Bring me the pot. Bridget come back with the pot. When they come, they little messy asses off the stage after he said sold for $5 million. I guess I just put it in one of my little rooms. They come off the stage. She take that pot, chunk that bitch over there. Girl, that girl fell to the ground. I said, ooh. Only thing, she missed his ass. I said, God damn it, girl, you missed him. And you should have got that face there. I know he think it's pretty, okay? But she accidentally got Jeff ass too. But you know what? If it got on you, you deserved it. Okay. So of course after all of this, they gotta take her to the hospital. Naomi ass going to jail. So then they all in the dressing room trying to decide who going with who and what the hell going on. So of course Pastor Jeff was like, no, we're gonna go to the hospital with them. And Rashida like, no, we not. I ain't going to no hospital. He's like, we have to. That man just gave us money. I was like, that's what you care about. Exactly. That's exactly what you care about. He just gave us money. You don't care about nothing other than whatever else just happened up on that stage, but the fact that you saw money signs. Okay. So they having a little tiff. And then he said he was going to leave without Rashida. And Rashida like, you ain't leaving without me. We came together. We leaving together. Okay. And then Geneva said she going to go ahead and go, get Naomi. She got, connections or whatever. Here go Javon. I'll go with you. Geneva was like, I'm good. I got it. He's like, no, I got connections. Start picking up his phone and stuff. She's like, okay. So then Tiffany ass want to say, oh, me too. I said, oh my goodness, this damn tag along ass team. Because imagine if it was just Geneva and Javon in the car, it would have been already a mess. And now you got to tag along. And then we have this awkward ass exchange between Pastor Jeff and his security dude, Myron. I want to say that's his name, Myron. So he like, oh, I'll take you, Pastor Jeff. Oh, are you okay? He do all that kind of stuff. Okay, Pastor Jeff be like, chill. So Rashida be checking this out. She be looking at them both like, what's going on here? I said, oh, not sure you got suspicions of your husband. Because she definitely was looking. And then Myron gonna turn to his wife's like, I'm gonna take Pastor Jeff to the hospital. And then Pastor Jeff telling him no, and he's still trying to be forceful. So definitely a scene to be noted because Rashida was peeping it. Okay, Rashida looking at both of their asses. So now we have this car scene with William and Bridget. Bridget is taking William home because Geneva is gonna go with Javon and them. Okay, so and then we got Javon and Geneva in the car with Tiffany ass in the back seat. I said, how the hell Geneva get in the passenger seat? Okay, Geneva, you should have been in the back seat, baby. Did you bump Tiffany out the way and here and sit first? Okay. But it's extra awkward. Okay, Geneva still don't want to say nothing. Javon get a call about somebody that's gonna help, Naomi, and it's a big favor. She needs to show up at court, blah blah. So then they end up talking about the night, of course, and Tiffany asked him, I'm like, oh, thank you for what you did at the table, and then he's like, do you really take pictures and all this stuff, basically, right? So then he's just like, yeah, I'm a photographer. Yeah, I took some of Geneva. And she's like, oh, really? Let me see them, Geneva. I cannot stand Tiffany, y'all. Tiffany get on my nerves, okay? She get on my nerves. Always oblivious. Oh, what? What's going on? But she sensed something going on. But all she want to do was still be like, huh? And she's like, well, fine then. You don't have to show me then. Geneva's like, can we not talk? I don't want to have no small talk right now. Y'all know what just went on tonight? Like, Geneva just said, shut up. Okay, we don't need to be going through the history. Don't be worrying about how I took pictures for him. None of that stuff. Shh, shut up, Tiffany. Basically, okay. So then in the car with William and Bridget, they pretty much talking about how that was crazy what just happened, and he was pretty much torturing her up there, and they were talking about how they both recognized that. But I was like, y'all recognize it, but nobody gonna say shit. Ain't nobody gonna defend your friend. And she drunk. She can barely handle what's going on. You supposed to be hopping in and getting on both of their ass, okay? The wife, the husband, and Pastor Jeff's ass, okay? But anyway, so they ended up talking about that and how that was crazy. And then I thought it was so awkward that she was all like, I love how you love my friend. I don't know. It was so weird to me. Y'all be going around telling y'all friends' husbands you love how they love your friend. Like, I don't know. It's I'm side-eyeing it because it was very strange to me, and she kept repeating it. But he said that's his soulmate, yada yada yada. But I'm still side eyeing you because who you telling with your fine ass? Okay, we still ain't got to the bottom of that. So, is you cheating or is you not? Okay. So William got more to him because you know they like to pull back them layers. Then we see what's going on, really going on with you. So we'll see, pending on William's ass. Okay, so then he ended up getting on her about her relationship with Vaughn because he's saying he a young dude. What you doing with this young dude? I'm like, how old? How old are they supposed to be for them to be calling him young? But I guess whatever. So she was saying, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I said, I'm happy you know it, girl, because I was wondering. Did you know you look a mess? You look a fool. You look a fool messing with this dude, and then he can't keep no job, and you supporting him. It's a whole mess out here. But she's talking about she gonna leave that alone and blah blah blah. And but it was so strange that William was like, well, if things don't work out with Javon and Tiffany, maybe you could give it a shot. I was like, y'all just gonna be passing a nigga around the friend group? Like, what? Who does that? Who be like, well, if it don't work out with you, maybe you work on my friend? Huh? And then y'all don't even know what's going on with Geneva. But anyway, she was open to it. So I was like, well, maybe if it don't work out. I mean, he was looking nice. I said, okay. Rashida and Jeff in the car headed to the hospital to go see, you know, Naomi's ex. Okay, so they had a good ass conversation, first of all. For one, like I told you, I like they back and forth. It's toxic as hell, but the back and forth be good because you can tell they've been married for a long time because they know how to argue with each other, okay? They pick up the petty real quick, okay? When one finish off of a word, that Rashida pick it back up, saying the same thing and flipping it back on him. Yeah, you always do. Yeah, you always do. Not listen to me and not pay attention to me. They throwing shade at each other. I look side to side at each other while he driving. Whole mess, okay? He talking about poor girl. And Rashida like, hell nah, poor girl. That girl ruined their marriage, got pregnant, and they been taunting her ever since. I said, okay, so it is true that they taunting her. Okay, so we saw it. Okay, they vindicated Naomi. Vindicated Naomi because I told y'all I only was gonna believe it because niggas be doing that shit. Okay, so and he one of them niggas. So confirmed. And then she said, now I gotta go to the hospital and pretend like I care. I said, okay, thank you, Rashida, because I don't care either, girl. I don't care she got burned. I wish all y'all got it. But then he was like, oh yeah, and you ain't come to check on me. Your husband got burned too. And she was like, you was fine. I saw you had some help. And then she was like, you and Myron, your wife, because he said, but my wife didn't come help. And she was like, you sure? Oh, they so petty. Okay, I swear, every time they should have stopped the argument, they just continued. And it was hilarious. It was hilarious because they really be getting each other, even though because he had some points where if Naomi is really that toxic up in their life, they do need to remove her, but also you ain't gonna tell her who she gonna be friends or not gonna be friends with. And he's talking about, I don't like her. She loud, she obnoxious, she ratchet. I said, damn. Then Rashida said, nice talk for a pastor, huh? I said, yeah, I was wondering the same thing, okay, because he sure went in. All right, damn near called her a B. But anyway, so he was saying, I don't like her, okay? She was the reason we almost didn't make it down the aisle. I said, what? Did they just drop some tea? What? Why wouldn't y'all have made it down the aisle? What's going on? Okay, I was like, ooh. A nugget of that. Okay, so now it's actually real beef between Pastor Jeff and Naomi, and that's why he letting all this shit fly. And like he really don't care. So that was some good information to get from this conversation because my ears perked up like, know what's going on. Anyway, they end up talking about their marriage. He trying to flip it on her like, you know what? This is just not how a marriage should be. This is just not how a marriage. I said, oh, I know he ain't the one saying it. I know you ain't the one saying it, okay? And then she was just like, yeah, well, then fix it. How about that? Won't you worry about paying attention to your wife? You don't value me. She going down her list of all the things that she lowers on the totem pole for his ass, okay? But he ain't trying to hear none of that. And then they start talking about, you try to flip my words on me. No, you try to flip your words on me. All that stuff. So, like I told you, pettiness. Okay, so now we got William getting home and he relieving the nanny. And he ended up, either calling or getting a call from Geneva from the jail trying to get Naomi's ass out. She pretty much saying, we finna be here for a long time. Go ahead and, finish off your night. So then he was just like on the phone trying to talk to them. I'm like, you know what tonight reminded me of, you in that dress? It reminded me of prom. And then she was just looking like, she looking over at Javon and Tiffany. Oh, I gotta go, babe. I said, damn. He's like, well, okay, I'll see you later. I said, why is he so oblivious? Is he really? Like, he just jumped. Oh, okay, all right, I'll see you later. She hung up on his ass before he could say, I love you. She want to go break Tiffany and Javon up because they over there giggling too much. And she don't appreciate it. And then she couldn't even find her opening because when she walked over there, she just looked at him. And we get to the hospital and, Pastor Joe trying to say, oh, I'm sorry for what happened to your wife, blah, blah, blah. Rashida really don't give a fuck, but she just there. So then, of course, he looking at Rashida because he mad. That's your friend did this, yada, yada, yada. She's like, well, you shouldn't be taunting her and da, 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 basically, okay? So then it become a whole little back and forth. He ended up calling Rashida a bitch. And who didn't say nothing? Her bitch-ass husband. He ain't say nothing. She's like, you gonna sit here and just let this man cuss me out? Don't say nothing. He's like, oh, everybody calm down. Calm down. Rashida, just go. And then Rashida's like, we came together. Why he always trying to ditch her? She's just like, hell no. I'll still be here. I just ain't gonna go in the little room and do the little fake ass prayer with you, okay? So they go in the room to do the prayer. And then, of course, I can't remember what Franklin, that's the ex-husband's name of Naomi. Franklin was trying to manipulate the pastor into saying, I know I said I was going to give y'all that money, but actually I decided I'm not going to do that because y'all in relation to such a dangerous person like Naomi. You got to pull out that card. They let her play on that. I'm in danger. Your heartstrings of, just manipulation. Manipulation and just pissing me off, okay? So, of course, Pastor Jeff's like, oh, yeah, I understand. I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. So then they leave. They finally get in the car. Of course, they back arguing again because you let that nigga curse me out and call me a bitch and you ain't say nothing. And he still ain't had nothing to say when she said that. He was just like, I said, oh, girl, okay. I don't want to, putting domestic violence out there, but, like, that was the time. Because he had me messed up. You just gonna not say nothing again? You let that man curse me out, you ain't gonna say, I'm sorry, I was being a bitch? Say something. But he's like, well, it's your friend. He ain't gonna give us no money because your friend, blah, blah. I said, oh, shut up. I don't care. She was like, the church will be fine. We always have been. Okay? Thank you. So then, of course, they upset going home. And then he gets out the car, but don't come and get her out the car. So then, of course, she's sitting there. She's looking like, oh, he ain't open the door for me. I said, okay, I mean, it's disrespect, but, I didn't know how she's going to take this. But it was definitely disrespect because he knew you was expecting him to open that fucking door. So episode 5, we open up with Geneva, Tiffany, and Javon still at the jailhouse. It's damn morning time now. They've been there all night trying to get Naomi out. So then Javon go to talk to somebody because I guess she's supposed to be getting released. And then here go Tiffany with her awkward, no cue, picking up ass. Why'd you never tell me about him? And then she's like, well, he just got divorced, girl. Like, chill out. Like, you doing too much. You look like a fiend now. I thought you was inching your way out. But anyway, pretty much Tiffany being oblivious and don't know that it's something awkward going on here, but then she notices it too because she's like, then what's going on? Like, you're not gonna tell me? All that kind of stuff. So annoying. So then she's like, well, yeah, I'm gonna pursue him. Yeah, he's such a great guy. Oh, so annoying. And Jenny was like, well, okay, well, you just be careful. I said, she is really not trying to tell Tiffany's ass, okay? And that got me thinking because I'm like, if you know this is getting serious, right? And all this stuff going on. Why wouldn't you not tell your friend if y'all been friends for years? Okay, so either Tiffany ass can't hold no water, which we find out pretty much, okay, or it's just like she just know if she tell one more person, it's just out. Okay, I don't know what it is. Okay, because if Rashida know and nobody else know, what y'all gonna do? Okay, because she was refusing to say anything. Okay, she just in there like, well, mm-hmm. Okay, she doing shit like that to Tiffany. So then Naomi come out and she pretty much got a hangover and looking a mess and saying she tired. So they finna all drive her home and get her situated. And we cut to Bridget and she's at the house. She end up calling the girls to see what's going on. They gonna meet up later to at Naomi's. So then she ended up getting a knock at the door, and it's the guy that she got Vaughn, her boyfriend, a job. And he like, I think he got the key, one of my keys, and I need it, basically. So I was like, okay, you ain't got no copies? Like, what the fuck? But anyway, he got my key, and I need it to whatever it is, okay? So she go up there to ask him about the key. He over there asleep, okay? She go up there to ask him about the key. He said he ain't got no key. So then she go back out and tell the dude. He said he don't got it. The dude was like, I know he got it, so let me go talk to him. I was like, damn, how you just know? But whatever. So he going up, he mad. It become a whole, nigga, you got my key. I don't got your key. Get out my face. This my house. You know, Vaughn doing all this stuff. This my house. You don't come up my house telling me this and that. And then, of course, dude throwing shades. I'm like, this ain't your house. This Bridget house. You ain't got no money, no job, or no prospects, nigga. Shut up. Okay, so then it become a whole little fight. They all tussling, okay? So tussle match. And then all of a sudden, Vaughn start winning. I said, what? Dude, if you gonna come in your house, you gotta win. They done push Bridget down. Bridget yelling, stop. Oh, Vaughn, no. Okay, Vaughn tried to pick up something and knock the nigga out. I was like, damn, Vaughn, you trying to kill him? He said, he come up in my house when I was asleep. I was like, there's something wrong with this man, okay? And she ended up kicking his ass out too because it was too much and she ain't never seen so much anger in him. Geneva, Tiffany, and Javon dropping Naomi off or dropping them off at Naomi's house. And he over there flirting with Tiffany and they exchanging numbers and Geneva over there looking like, oh. I think we need help in the house, Tiffany. They're pretty much trying to get Naomi's temperature, see what she going on, she feeling. She already started drinking again and she upset because, you know, what the fuck happened last night. And then she was like, and then I ain't with Rashida, I ain't heard from Rashida. And she was saying, I know you guys hate me from what I did, blah blah. They all saying no. And then she was like, well, the pastor hates me. I know the pastor hates me. And here go Bridget. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. We don't, and he doesn't either. And Naomi said, you drinking the church Kool-Aid, okay? And then she was like, she ended up snapping on her and was talking about how he gonna have the nerve to, because she was saying, talk about the pastor, how he had the nerve to hate me and he a pastor, okay? She was like, ain't no good men around, blah, blah, blah. Then there's go Bridget talking about, he is a good man. She's like, girl, what you know about a good man? You ain't never been married and you date some young dude, okay? You don't know what you doing in your life. I said, damn, bitch. Now we done got snippy real quick, okay? Tiffany had to be like, hold on, we ain't gonna fight each other now. We just want to make sure you get through this, Naomi, okay? And then she started saying, no, not after what he revealed last night with Frank. He let Franklin do that shit to me last night. He ain't no good man, okay? I said, you damn right. I'm with you, girl. He ain't. Okay? And she's like, all I did was sit. And then they said why, I guess they were hinting to why he would hate her, even though they say he don't hate her. It's like, well, you did do too much, when you was coming at him. And they were saying that, he said you did too much. And she's like, all I did was tell him who he was. Okay, I said, who was he, girl? What happened? What happened? Who was he before the marriage? Because if you saying it was about to interfere with them going down the aisle, girl, what's going on? Okay. So, another breadcrumb. Okay, so can't wait to see what's going on there. They got beef around here. She ended up saying that she want to sue them because, she want to sue the ex-husband for everything. Okay, even though she exhausting all her money and whatever, she don't know what she want to do, but she want to do something to his ass. Okay, she want to get his ass touched. Okay, and I ain't mad at it because the way he going, okay, she started acting a little bit too much erratic, but other than that, I'm behind her. So then, they end up telling her that what she did was wrong and that she can go to actual jail. That this is a serious thing. This is not just going to be over with tomorrow. Okay, you threw hot coffee on somebody and caused burns. Okay, so she was like, okay, yada yada yada. They leaving. Javon is texting Tiffany and she over there on her phone and shit. And she's like, oh, he's texting me. And then Geneva looking out like, okay, that's cute. She's like, Bridget, can you ride with her? Because I need to go. She's like, well, we going on the same route. She's like, no, I need a private conversation to have. I need to have a private conversation. I said, you want that bitch out your face, okay? You don't want to be dealing with this stupidness you got going on. Just say it. John calls William to let him know that, oh, thank you for last night, for hooking me up with a girl, yada, yada, yada. They chopping it up on the phone. And I really think he being fake as fuck, really. And then he just like, you a good dude, William. I said, and you after his wife? Okay, what you gonna say after that? What you gonna tell this man after you? Okay. If Geneva was to leave him for you, what you'd be like, I'm sorry, bro, and then y'all still try to be friends? Like, what's going on, Javon? What is the plan? We also had a scene with Tiffany and Bridget on the way to going home or whatever. So she pretty much talked about what happened with Vaughn and I don't know the other dude's name. Vaughn and the dude at her house, and that it was a whole fight that broke out. She kicked Vaughn out because it was just too much. He was so angry. She ain't never seen it before. And basically Tiffany just let her know that the dude was some kind of trained old army dude. I don't know, something like that. Basically, if he wanted to, he could have hurt Vaughn, but he chose not to. I was like, you could have chose not to lose the fight, though. You could have like disarmed him or something, but okay. So then, of course, they got Bridget looking like what, and then now it's kind of looking like Bridget and him kind of gonna have a little thing because he complimented her and all kind of stuff at some point in one of these episodes. I can't remember, but that was just a little. I was looking like, he trying to slide. Okay, so then we got Naomi calling Doc. Okay, telling Doc, can he come over? He said he would help him with some things. Can you get a hold of some, some interesting things, basically? Okay, and then of course Naomi, he finally gets to the house and they talking personal on what she need. Well, she don't really say what she needs. She just want to say how well connected is he? Is he connected to some, illegalities? Okay. And he like, yeah, I can get you whatever you need. That's cool. I said, ooh, what we got planned for old dude? Okay. Get him. So now we get to the main part that came out throughout the episode, actually. So beginning of the episode, when they waking up in the morning, the son ended up waking up the daddy, Jeff, and was like, where's mom? So it's a whole where's mom all episode. And they just like, what you lying? Why you lying? She ain't in the guest room. And then he just looking like, okay. He ain't really even care. Dude don't even care. If your kids come to you asking, well, where they mama at, and you just like, I don't know, she might be in the guest room, and they're like, no, she not there. No, her side of the bed ain't even slept on. The guest room ain't even been slept in. And he just kind of looked like, but he really didn't care. So then the kids end up finding her in the car when they going out to go to school. And she just like, she stayed in the car all night. She stayed in that car all night. She in there crying. So I'm like, did she even sleep? Did you fall asleep and then you woke up and you was crying again because you was still in the car and you realized what happened? But anyway, she in there, she telling them kids to go on now. Don't worry about what I got going on, okay? So then she tell them, go on, catch your bus. Bye. Get out my face. So then Jeff come out and he see her in the car. And he looking like, girl, what's wrong with you? Why are you still in this car? He said, what is you doing? And then she was like, you didn't open the door for me. And he just like, okay, like, the fuck? Like, pretty much. And then she was like, you didn't open the door for me. You don't care about me, blah, 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 all that stuff. So then he was like, this is an overreaction to me not opening the door for you. This, he doing all that being an asshole thing, dismissing her feelings, telling her, minimizing everything that's going on right now. So then he was like, fine, you want me to open the door for you? Open the door for you? I keep over there, he got to open the door for her. So she get up and she, she upset. She's like, you don't care for me, you don't have no regard for me, all of this stuff, right? I forgot what she yelled to him, but when she yelled it to him, I felt it. Okay, when she yelled at his ass, and then his phone ended up ringing. She's like, yeah, you don't care. She said, you don't care for me, okay? And then his phone started ringing. She snatched the phone. That's all you care about. Nah, go ahead and answer it. Go ahead and answer it. She answered the phone on speaker. It's Myron. He's like, baby, you in the car? Baby? And she said, I said, what? Not surprised. Not surprised because he been on your ass, kissing your ass since episode 1, okay? Being overprotective, acting. He disrespects Rashida as much as Pastor Jeff disrespects Rashida. Okay, when she gotta tell him, "Can you get out my seat?" and all that kind of stuff, and she acting, and he all on top of Pastor Jeff, want to help, be extra helpful, and she, no, I'll take you, Jeff. And then Pastor Jeff gotta tell him, "Calm down, I'm good, calm down." Makes sense to me, okay? And I also said that Jeff also already like he cheating. And it actually don't even matter, male or female. Okay, I feel like something was iffy about their relationship though. But that's how the episode ends on episode 5. Okay, had us all like, alright, y'all. That's the end of episodes, and that's the end of my review for Divorced Sistas season 1, episodes 4 through 6. Drop down in the comments, let me know what y'all thought about the episodes. This show is so good. When I tell you, as I keep going over the review, because of course I don't watch these episodes, I don't know how many times to get this review done because technical difficulties. Okay, drop down in the comments, let me know what y'all thought about the episodes. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the belikedee channel, okay?